extreme interest. This is not going away here.
No, it is not going away. If the Trump administration and Donald Trump in particular believe that they can wish this story away, the American public have a different tune to sing. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at Google searches for Epstein. In fact, in the month of February, it is higher than it's ever been. Up like a rocket, up 900% versus a month ago. And the top name associated with Googling for Epstein, well, it is Donald Trump. So the story isn't not going away. It's actually getting searched more and more and more, becoming more relevant in the minds of the American public.
It's so interesting. This is, more than it was when Congress voted to force a release him, more than it was when they actually released some of them, more than it was when they released more of them. Now it's the most it's ever been.
The most it has ever been, and the previous highs were also very high.
All right, let's talk about what this means for President Trump. How do people view his handling of the whole issue?
Yeah, this is bad political news for President Trump. Yesterday we spoke about the fact that Donald Trump's overall approval rating, his net approval rating, was at a record low for term number 2. What is the worst issue for Donald Trump of any of the major issues? Look at this. We got them all up on the screen. Immigration, foreign policy, the economy, trade and tariffs, and then all the way down at the bottom is the Epstein case. Look, he's underwater on immigration, foreign policy, the economy, and tariffs, all between minus 16 and minus 25 points. The Epstein case, though, is on another planet. Look at this.
What's good, folks? Saydee Jr. here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to it. So we have Whoopi Goldberg here. She got hit with a dose of common sense today because all of a sudden she understands that just because your name is in the Epstein files does not necessarily equate to guilt. They've been using this tactic to smear Trump's name this entire time, but now that it's found out publicly that she is in the Epstein files, you know what? Let's just take a listen.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2?
Okay. And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend, I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not, you used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it. Yeah. People wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane? Fly. They were trying to,
and she doesn't fly.
So they're trying
She's
to get me.
Babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
Yeah, but the thing is, they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when you're looking, there are people like Marilyn Monroe who was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of people, because a lot of the reasons your name can be mentioned are news articles, third-party emails, contacts. Again, wealthy, famous people often cross in professional and social circles, so that's not the surprising part.
So why is it that all of a sudden common sense appears? Why is it all of a sudden that she understands now that just because your name was there, it doesn't necessarily mean you're guilty of anything? They never extended that level of grace for President Donald Trump, though. Even though Donald Trump was the one that tipped off the DOJ about Epstein, Donald Trump was the first one to publicly exclude him from his properties and cut all public ties with him. It was Donald Trump that encouraged the government to go after him the entire time, but you guys don't extend him that same level of grace. Now you understand that, oh yeah, my name is there, but it doesn't mean I'm guilty. Isn't that what people have been saying the whole time? Like, hey, let's put together a case. Let's actually go through it and figure out that just because you have presence in the records, it does not equate to any sort of proof of criminal conduct. Here in the United States of America, of course, we believe in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And of course, to have guilt, you need to have a very specific criminal charge. There needs to be admissible evidence. And of course, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, if you guys have time, I want you guys to look up the story of this young lady by the name of Allie Carter. She's a girl who literally tells her story, which is absolutely insane. She was one of the kids that were trafficked, and she believes she was taken to underground cities where there were underground parties. She was taken to Hollywood elitist parties. And she saw all kinds of horrible things. She says she saw like Denzel Washington and a lot of these other prominent celebrities who all took part in the vile stuff that they were doing at these parties. She managed to get free, and of course, she stated that Trump was not on the island. She said, I was trafficked to that island, and he wasn't there. But I just want you guys to know this is in line with what all the other survivors are saying. For the ones that said that they were on the island, that they were trafficked in regards to the Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein nonsense, they're all saying Trump had nothing to do with it. Just listen to her story. Let her speak.
I never was tortured by Trump. And if I was, I damn sure don't know about it. But I was never tortured by Trump. That's not the point. But the fact that some of you are mad at me because I won't say that is telling. Why are we just having a conversation just about Trump like he's the only, we said we saw his name and all this stuff. Okay, because if it was, all of it was what it says it was, why wasn't that information out in 2016? When he was running for election, they drug out everything on that man. Why didn't they pull out that ball? But let's just knock politics off the table for a second. If you are just focused on Trump's name, you do not get it. We're talking about children. We're talking about children. Children!
That's why this is so important. I love what she said that. I love what she said there at the end. If you keep just pinpointing Trump, you don't get it. There is an entire global cabal, the people at the top of our society, entertainers, politicians, all the above. These people are part of a Luciferian cult where they traffic children, they torture children. They're saying that they're eating the flesh of young ones, using their blood to maintain their youth, maintain their cognitive prowess. This is what we're dealing with. It's another level. And the fact that, first of all, Democrats denied all of this for decades. They created the whole far-right conspiracy label based on Frazzle Drip, based on Pizzagate, and based on the Epstein Island. There was an island, it was like Alex Jones and all the other tinfoil hat people. They were saying there is an island where the elites hang out and they traffic and torture and delete kids. And CNN, BBC, fill in the blank, any mainstream media source, far-right conspiracy theorists, you guys are insane. You cannot substantiate this. I remember, I think it was like Wall Street Journal or New York Times did an article. How do we arrive at this point where how do you create a conspiracy theory? How do these things happen? And why do they spread so far and wide? And those are the kind of conversations we're having, because whenever liberals say, oh, we want decency back, that was the decency they were talking about. Punish the ones who told the truth. So here we have an actually trafficked victim who said Trump had nothing to do with it. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar won't admit that. All of a sudden, common sense hits when it's their comrade, Whoopi Goldberg. Oh yeah, well guys, there's more nuance to it now. Now there's more nuance to it. Now we're allowed to investigate a little more. Just because you're on there doesn't mean you're guilty. Guys, that's what we were saying. Stay focused. Stay focused. But with that being said, you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Deuces.